Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat. My name is Luke, and today we're checking out the trailer for Weapons from Warner Brothers. Um, I saw the short trailer. It's like a minute long. I didn't see it. I saw that it was up like a week or two ago, I think, and decided not to do any content on it. I knew there was going to be a 2 minute trailer coming out. I knew that Josh Brolin was in it, and I knew I was excited about it because Warner Brothers, when they do these kinds of movies, are actually pretty good at this kind of stuff. Middle budget director writer pieces that are director focused. They don't seem to, Warner Brothers doesn't typically jump into interrupt the creative process in movies like this. So I'm super interested in this. I want to know exactly what's happening here. So I think I'm just going to start the trailer and see where we go. Okay. Ready? Let's hit it.
This is a true story that happened in my town.
True story. Okay.
So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school.
We love a hump day.
Today was different. Every other class had all their kids.
Looks like my middle school, nice.
But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why?
No.
Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark.
Okay, I'm in. This is awesome.
They never came back.
Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. I've never seen Barbarian, but I probably should.
Why only her?
Where are our children?
Dude.
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
Yeah, I would say so. On August 8th, one man. That sometimes when I read that kind of stuff, I like it. Oh, what is happening? Whoa.
Matthew, where are you?
Is that Salt? Is she a witch?
Where did you go?
Whoa. Yep.
This is where the story really starts.
Wow. Okay. That's a hell of a trailer. I got goosebumps. That's a hell of a trailer. The reason why that's a hell of a trailer is I have no idea what's happening. The trailer was like minute 50. No idea what happened. And I'm in. I'm locked in. I don't like scary movies. But there's a particular kind of scary movie that I like a lot. And it's movies like this. It's movies like The Others. It's movies like, I don't know, ones that are based in reality, ones that I'm like, okay, I'm into this. I can do this. One of my favorite all-time horror movies that, and this is really, I don't know if this is horror or thriller, but one of my favorite all-time horror movies is Martyrs. Buddy, it will traumatize you. The first half of the movie is, the second half of the movie is, wow, that's pretty super interesting. Okay, that's what we're doing right now. It's a French film. If you're into it, watch it. But if you got trauma, maybe don't. But anyway, going back to this, we got Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin is on. I mean, for the last maybe decade or 15 years, it's hit after hit after hit after possibly crit after crit after hit. He can play massive roles. He can play smaller roles. I like him as the dad in this situation, who is a hyper resourceful dude. I like him in this. Who is the teacher? The teacher is, what was her name? Julia Garner. Probably most notable for her role in Ozark. She's got a couple of other credits, but you definitely have seen her in Ozark. Yeah, Modern Love, The Assistant. There's a few others that I've heard of. Waco is a miniseries that she was in. There's a few others, but the probably the most interesting thing about this movie outside of the premise and the performers is the director. Okay. So here's the thing. They said at the beginning, from the director of Barbarian, right? He is actually a comedic actor. Um, his name is Zach Cregger or Cregger, but I bet it's Krieger. Zach Cregger, and he's usually kind of funny. Most of his stuff is like Open Night. I've seen him in a few things. The McCarthys. He's in a TV series there. Dayton Switch. A lot of it's kind of goofy. Love and Air Sex. I mean, a lot of it's goofy stuff. He's kind of silly. The Death and Return of Superman, which is a short. He played Hal Jordan. Um, as an actor, he is that. But as a director, Barbarian, the I mean, there's the Civil War of Drugs. I mean, some of the stuff is pretty hard hitting. It's kind of he's an interesting dude. Like he did Weapons. He's in pre-production for the next Resident Evil movie. I think they have him listed as a director for that. I imagine because I think Resident Evil is a Warner Brothers property too. I imagine that this is a one for me, one for you situation, right? So he probably did Barbarians, and it did well enough, and so he gets to do Weapons. Then he has to do Resident Evil for the studio. That feels like that's what's going on. But he's a writer, director. He must have made some good friends. But it's so interesting that his filmography is, as an actor, is kind of fun and funny and quirky and weird. But then Barbarian, and this movie, which are serious. When that kid raises his head up and he's like, I mean, just man, yeah, I got goosebumps. This movie looks really cool. It looks like it's about witches because of the salt. Uh, I'm interested to see Julia Garner and her position. The part of this is so interesting too is that in really recent U.S. mainstream, there's been a push to maybe direct teachers to teach specific things. And I'm not going to get into it because it's pretty political and everyone has their own opinion. It doesn't matter. But this plays on that to the nth degree, like plus some, times some, maybe to the exponent. That like this teacher for sure and these students have a connection. What is it? We don't know. But these kids got up at one time and walked out because of the content that it was in her class. For sure. That is the commonality. I'm interested. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, actually, because this looks like it'd be really good. Like really good. And I might actually want to see this in the theater. This might be a theater and not a coucher. What is it for you, though? We'd like to hear it in the comments. Please also feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, until next time, later, taters.